Folks, today is the last full day of the Fatal Fury City of the Wolves beta, and I wanted to talk a bit about why, even though I do think that this game is very fun to play and it's a breath of fresh air in the current fighting game landscape, I think that with the current state of City of the Wolves as a product, I think they probably need to delay the game. If they're not able to fix some of the major issues I have in time, the game is less than 2 months away from release, and there are just kind of too many annoyances and things that I think are going to turn people off to the point where I think if the game releases like this, it is very quickly going to be yet another SNK game where the core fan base of SNK really likes it, but it really fails to make a splash in the greater gaming landscape and bring people in like some other games like Street Fighter 6 or Guilty Gear Strive. So, the first most obvious issue, and the one that I think the most attention has been paid to, is the matchmaking. So they've said that they're looking at this. They might even do another beta to try to fix this, which I think would be great. But matchmaking is very slow. On day one, it was taking me like 5 minutes to find a match. I've noticed it's gotten a little bit faster. I'll time how long this one takes just for posterity here. Okay, this time it took like a minute, 45 seconds-ish. Which again, that's faster than it was on day one. It's still kind of long, I'm gonna be honest, but it's mostly acceptable. I wonder if maybe like there's fewer people playing now, so maybe the servers are less overloaded or something. So yeah, once you actually get into the match, I think the gameplay is quite fun. Like I said, it does feel more like an old school game than a game like Street Fighter 6. Strive, Tekken 8, those feel very new school compared to this. There are a couple things I don't like. For one thing, I think feinting should definitely have its own button input. I don't know why that's not a thing. Feinting is rev guard plus heavy kick, which is a very awkward set of buttons to hit on a lot of controllers. They have macros for everything else, so just give us a feinting macro because that is like a pretty important mechanic, and pretty much every character uses feinting for their BNBs, so I would like to see that. I'm also not super crazy about the rev blow mechanic. That's the kind of drive impact-ish move that you can do when you are in your SBG part of your gauge. I just find the move a little spammy, a little bit annoying. Yes, it is much more counterable than drive impact. There are a lot of ways to deal with it, and you can only do it for a third of the match. You can only do it when your life bar is in a specific spot, but I find it a little bit frustrating, and you know, you can't instant block it. I've seen people complain about, so maybe if they gave you the ability to instant block it, that would make it a little bit more deal withable. But I just don't like the fact that, especially in, you know, against newer players, when someone's life bar is in that zone, that move is like all you're thinking about is like, okay, they're just going to spam this move. How am I going to deal with it? So yeah, I find that move to be a little bit frustrating. But other than these minor complaints, I do think the gameplay is really great. But what's not great is essentially everything else. Everything outside of the gameplay is really bad, right? So these menus here, you know, I really like this main menu visually. Although I've seen people complain the text is really small, so that's one thing. But it's also very laggy, which I don't really understand. When you press a button, it just takes a long time for the button to go through. And then when you get into an interior menu like this, so on a lot of these menus, there's just a huge amount of lag between pressing the button and the thing happening. So like, watch this. Boom. Did you see how long that took for the thing to come up when I press the button? I really don't get that. And then in certain menus, like here in the lobby, the menus actually operate on button release instead of button press. So you could say I press the button and then I release the button. And when I release the button is when the action happens. Very, very bizarre. Obviously, they should fix this. I would imagine this is an easy fix, so hopefully they can do this before the game comes out. But it just makes the menus feel very slow, very clunky. Speaking of clunky, why do we have a mouse cursor that you can't move with your mouse? And this mouse cursor is the only way to operate this menu. So yeah, like I'm on PC, I can't use my mouse to move this. I have to use my stick to move it around, which sucks. And then between matches, you know, if you want to like move around the lobby or like put yourself to spectate, the cursor spawns like over here in the bottom right. So you have to move it over to where you want it to go and then click. So it's just very crappy. It doesn't make any sense to me. Also, so we have these room IDs. Currently, room search does not seem to be working. I was not able to connect with friends using this ID, but in theory, if they fix that before release, it's still annoying because you can't copy-paste this ID. And am I missing something? I tried really hard to find a way to copy-paste this ID, but you cannot. So that is really bizarre. You have to type this out and then they have to manually enter it. So that's obviously terrible. And so because the room ID search thing wasn't working for us, we had to add each other to friends list to play. And this works really well. Let me show you. You go to invite from friends list. We have to load because everything in this game has load times. And we go to our friends and, you know, we just click on them to add them, right? But we can't go to search player. We can't go to friend requests. So if someone sends you a friend request and you're in the lobby, you can't respond to the friend request without leaving the lobby. That's obviously insane. So I can't accept, it's, you know, I send my friend code. We'll talk about that in a second. They add me. I can't accept their friend request as far as I know, unless I'm missing something, without leaving the lobby and going to the main menu. So let's show that part of the menu. Okay, I want to add a friend so that we can play in a lobby together. So what do? We go back to the main menu and try to find where you add friends on here. It's not easy to find. This took some research. You go online profile. That's where you go to add a friend. And then you go friends list. And then you can add a friend. And you need a friend code to add a friend. You cannot search their username. That's obviously terrible. So I don't know why my controls aren't working. Is it because I clicked on this? Okay, now I can go back. I went back too far, so now we have to sit through a load time. Hold on. Friend list. The load times in this game are so annoying. Everything has a load time, and you get tired of it so fast. Okay, so you want to add a friend. You need their friend code. To get their friend code, you have to go to your profile. Here's your user code. And once again, you will find it is not copy-pastable. Unless there's some hidden setting that I'm missing. It's not copy-pastable, so you have to manually type this. Make sure you don't get any numbers wrong. They search for you. You add them as a friend, which you can only do from this menu, from this friend list menu. You can't do it from anywhere else. You create the lobby. You invite them to the lobby. And then where do they join the lobby, right? You know, you go to room match. You've gotten a lobby invite. Where do you go? It's not in here. I'll tell you that. You can search all you want in here, but you won't find out how. You have to go back to the main menu. You press R3 to view the invite list, and this is where the lobby invites come up. So yes, this whole system makes no sense. No one's going to be able to figure this out. Anyone who tries this game is going to refund it on Steam because they can't figure out how to play it. And I know you're thinking, well, just use the friends list invite, right? But you cannot. You can invite them to watch, but you cannot use the Steam friends list to invite someone to your game. You have to use the friend codes like we're playing Pokemon back in 2006 or something. Really baffling stuff. Another weird thing about the menu, so I was talking about the button config. You can't bind faint. There's a lot of other things you can't bind, right? So if I'm a keyboard player, some people when they play keyboard, they like to have space as the jump button so that it's like a hitbox. You cannot bind spacebar. For whatever reason, spacebar is a forbidden button. I can bind it to any other key for the most part, but no spacebar. Why? Who knows? There's lots of other banned keys as well for whatever reason, like numpad keys. A lot of them are banned, like the plus key and the enter key, which are really big keys. So I know some people have said that they like to bind certain things to those. Those aren't also not bindable. You can bind to the numpad directions, but they're kind of weird. So I can't bind to the 3 on the numpad, but I can bind to 6. 6 becomes forward arrow, I guess, if you have numlock off. But if you have numlock on, you can't bind any of the numpad. And either way, you can't bind 3 or 9. It's very, very bizarre. So yeah, this binding, if you're playing on keyboard, is very janky. If you plan on playing this game on keyboard, I would be careful because you might not be able to use your preferred control scheme, especially if you use the spacebar. And if you want to just join a random room, like you want to play a bunch of long sets or whatever, okay, we go here, we go same region. Why not set it to any region? Cross-platform on. I want to get the biggest search region possible for finding players. We hit the button, and then we wait. So like I said, load times for everything in this take forever. So let's wait here. It takes quite a while to see any rooms. I just want to join a room. I don't care which one, but we gotta wait. So again, they might be able to fix this in 2 months. Hopefully, fingers crossed that they're able to do that. And then again, like I said, I have never been able to successfully use the room ID search. I have not been able to make that happen. Oh, there's friend search. I didn't know about that. Okay, so this will show you all the rooms that are opened by friends. That's pretty good. Although, again, you have to wait a long time for that to happen. So anyway, yes, all these menus are just horrible. I also think the ranked match system is very bad. So, for one thing, there are no per character ranks, right? So, like, you pick your character, and you get to a certain rank, and then if you want to switch characters, you're still going to be that rank, right? I feel like pretty much every other fighting game has moved away from this because it's just annoying that you basically can't play a secondary in ranked, or else you're going to be playing high-ranked people and just get destroyed. So that is really frustrating. I also really don't like the ranks in general. As you can see, I'm currently rank A5. There's also like rank A4, A3, B1. I hate these ranks. They give me nothing. They really tell me nothing. Like, I much prefer when ranks are stuff like, you know, Grandmaster, Master, Diamond, or stuff that like relates to the game in some way. Like in Dragon Ball, they would have, you know, like Super Saiyan 3. They would have like Ultra Instinct, God of Destruction, whatever. I'm not saying that they need to do like corny, like lore accurate rank names, but give me something better than A5, A4, whatever. And also, as far as we know, there is no like end game system like there is in Street Fighter 6 where you get your MR and then you can become like legend rank. There's not really anything like that. You just get to the top rank and then there's basically nothing else to do, and you can't even try to get other characters up to the top rank like you can in Street Fighter 6. You know, people do like getting every character to master challenge. Can't do that in this because there's only one rank across all your characters. So yeah, this is very frustrating. It feels like SNK doesn't really realize that ranked is the primary way that I think the average gamer wants to play. For better or for worse, we want to just hit the Q button and get ranked matches against people close to our skill. And this puts so many barriers in the way of that I think it is going to be extremely off-putting to people. Okay, another really annoying thing. I've been talking about load times this whole time. A lot of times there are load times between rounds. Sometimes it's not really that noticeable. I don't know if it's an issue of like PS4 or like people having bad PCs or whatever. But regardless, load time between rounds I find to be unacceptable. Are you paying attention to how long we're staring at a black screen between rounds? Nothing kills hype more than... I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in a fighting game. Let's watch that again, okay? The round's about to end. And now pay attention to how long it takes to get into the next round, right? This is impossible. A game cannot have this. No, the game cannot have this. I do not like that at all. I've never seen another modern fighting game that has that. Please do whatever you have to do to get this out of the game, because there's nothing worse than when you lose the round and you just want to get back into it. You just want to get back in so fast. And then there's a load time. Let's see if it happens again at the end of this round. I skipped ahead to the next round to see if it happened again. I don't think this was just a one-time thing. I think this happened every single round. Let's see. Get the throw kill, and then let's wait. Hold on. Okay, we're back. That is unbearable. Unacceptable, in my opinion. Speaking of unplayable, there is one stage in the game so far. We only have a handful of stages to play with. But there is one that I also considered to be unplayable, which is this one, the train one. I think it's pretty much guaranteed this stage is going to be banned in offline tournaments. Thankfully, online, you don't actually have to play on this stage, because whatever stage you set as your stage is the one you're going to see, and it's just done like per player. A lot of modern games are doing this, and I think it's a great feature. But again, even this feature I think has a big problem. We go to our battle settings, we go to register stages, and we just pick a stage, right? We just pick what stage we want to play on. So I'm never going to play on Freight Express. I'll play on like B Port or whatever. But the problem is it's not randomized. I only get this stage until the end of time. And based on the way this is, you know, titled registered stages, you would think I could pick every stage I want. If this is just a beta thing, that's fine. But I mean, look over here, right? It says stage training. I can't show you with my cursor, but you see, you just have one registered stage, right? So I really wish we could have a selected list of stages and it would randomize between them. That would be ideal. But a random button won't do much because random is going to give me Freight Express, and I don't want to play on that. It makes me nauseous. So, yeah, this really needs fixed as well. Only playing on one stage until the end of time is very, very boring. So I know a lot of these probably seem like minor nitpicks, but, you know, these little aspects of the experience matter a lot, right? Like, I think myself, I pretty much quit playing KOF 15 because of the matchmaking issue. That was just such a problem that I couldn't see myself playing. And then like games like Guilty Gear Strive, I don't really play Strive very much anymore. And the biggest reason is because it's so annoying to go through the lobby and get into matches. When in Street Fighter 6, I just go, I hit Q for ranked, and seconds later I have a match. In Street Fighter 6, people actually complain you find matches too fast. You don't have time to do training mode or open the menu in between matches because it's just rapid firing them. So that's a good problem to have, and this game currently does not have that problem. It has the other problem. It takes forever to find matches. You gotta wait for load times in between. It's impossible to play with your friends. It's so difficult to figure out the menus. All this stuff needs to be fixed, so I really hope that they're able to fix it, even if it takes delaying the game. I think it's worth it personally, especially the loading between rounds and the matchmaking issues and the lobby issues. To me, those are just deal breakers. So yeah, I feel like I've been very harsh in this video, but I just want to reiterate, I think this game has a lot of potential to be SNK's biggest success on the current generation. I think this game could easily be more popular than KOF 15, Sam Show, stuff like that, if they get all the little things right, and so far they haven't given me that much confidence that that's going to be the case. So the gameplay is amazing. Do what you need to do to make everything else work and get people into that good gameplay so they can actually enjoy your game. So with that, I'm going to end the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.